Many people believe that controlling blood sugar is simply a matter of eating less sugar and exercising more. It sounds logical, and it's advice that has been repeated for decades. But if that were the complete picture, millions of people following those recommendations wouldn't still struggle with unpredictable glucose levels every single day. Some count every carbohydrate, replace desserts with salads, walk 5 miles every morning, and never miss a dose of medication. Yet their blood sugar barely changes. Meanwhile, someone else with seemingly average habits maintains stable numbers without much effort. That contradiction raises an important question. What really affects blood sugar beyond diet and exercise? The answer begins with understanding that your body is not a calculator. It is a complex biological system where hormones, sleep, stress, muscle tissue, inflammation, genetics, digestion, and metabolism constantly interact. When one of these systems is disrupted, the effects can ripple throughout the entire body. Imagine an orchestra where every musician is playing perfectly except the conductor. Even though each instrument performs its part, the final result still sounds chaotic. Your metabolism works much the same way. Food and physical activity are only two musicians in a much larger performance. One of the biggest influences on blood sugar is insulin sensitivity. Insulin acts like a key that allows glucose to leave the bloodstream and enter your cells, where it becomes energy. When cells become less responsive to insulin, glucose remains in circulation longer, causing blood sugar levels to rise. This process can be influenced by many factors that have nothing to do with eating dessert. Sleep is one of them. Even one night of poor sleep can temporarily reduce insulin sensitivity and increase stress hormones, making blood sugar more difficult to regulate the next day. Someone who sleeps 5 hours every night may struggle despite maintaining an excellent diet. Stress creates another hidden challenge. When your brain perceives danger, whether it's a work deadline or financial pressure, it releases hormones designed to prepare your body for action. One of those responses is releasing additional glucose into the bloodstream to provide immediate energy. The body cannot distinguish between escaping a predator and answering emails at midnight. Both situations trigger similar biological reactions. Over time, chronic stress may contribute to consistently elevated blood sugar levels. Then there is muscle tissue. Most people think of muscles as something that helps them move, but metabolically they function like massive storage centers for glucose. The more healthy muscle tissue a person maintains, the more efficiently glucose can be utilized. This explains why resistance training often improves blood sugar regulation even when body weight changes very little. Inflammation is another important piece. Low-grade chronic inflammation can interfere with insulin signaling throughout the body. This inflammation may be influenced by poor sleep, stress, excess body fat, smoking, illness, or other lifestyle and medical factors. Instead of looking at blood sugar as an isolated problem, researchers increasingly view it as the result of multiple interconnected systems. The gut also deserves attention. Inside the digestive system lives an enormous community of bacteria that helps process nutrients, produce important compounds, and communicate with the immune system and metabolism. Scientists continue studying how the microbiome influences insulin sensitivity, appetite regulation, inflammation, and glucose control. While many questions remain, the connection between gut health and metabolic health is becoming increasingly clear. Hormones add another layer. Cortisol, adrenaline, GLP-1, insulin, glucagon, and many others constantly communicate with one another. When one hormone changes, several others respond. This is why two people eating identical meals may experience completely different blood sugar readings. Their internal biology is different. The real issue isn't simply what goes into the body. It's how the body processes and responds to it. Understanding this perspective changes the conversation from blame to biology. Many people living with type 2 diabetes believe they failed because they couldn't achieve perfect numbers through willpower alone. But metabolic health depends on much more than discipline. Age, genetics, medications, sleep quality, stress exposure, physical activity, muscle mass, digestive health, and overall lifestyle all contribute to the final outcome. This doesn't make healthy eating or exercise less important. Quite the opposite. It highlights that nutrition and movement work best as part of a complete strategy rather than isolated solutions. Someone who improves sleep, manages stress, builds muscle, eats balanced meals, and works closely with healthcare professionals is often addressing multiple metabolic pathways simultaneously instead of focusing on a single habit. Progress may still happen gradually. Blood sugar regulation is usually the result of thousands of small biological improvements accumulating over weeks and months rather than one dramatic change overnight. That understanding removes unnecessary frustration. Instead of asking why healthy habits aren't working, a better question is whether every important piece of the metabolic puzzle is being considered. Because lasting blood sugar control is rarely about one food, one workout, or one supplement. It's about understanding how the entire system works together every single day. If you'd like to explore this topic even further, there's a structured breakdown and a practical step-by-step framework linked in the description that explains these metabolic concepts in a simple and organized way. And if you enjoy evidence-based health discussions designed to make complex science easier to understand, subscribe and join us for the next conversation.